Let me tell you how you wake up one morning and find out that your life, your actual private, everyday life, has become someone else's idea of a rule. You want a hook. Try this. I spent a week feeling like the star of a bad reality show. Nobody asked to be on just because three orange cones showed up in front of my house. Yeah, three orange cones, blocking my own driveway. You ever see something so dumb it just fries your brain for a second? That's where this starts. The air's cold. I'm standing there in my socks holding coffee that's gone lukewarm, staring at a sign zip tied to a stake. Big, bold letters. No access, HOA control. Not handwritten, not like a neighbor's little joke. This is clean printed official. Smug as can be. At first, I honestly think it's a prank. I mean, what else could it be? But then a white SUV pulls up nice and slow, like it owns the morning. Out steps Elaine Porter, the HOA president herself, dressed like she's heading to a board meeting, hair and lipstick, and attitude all perfectly in place. She looks past me, doesn't even bother to say hi, just sort of scans my house like it's in her way, and then without blinking, she says, "You can't drive up there." I blink back once hard. That's my driveway. Elaine tips her head just a little. "This driveway isn't yours." There's something about the way she says it flat. No drama, like she's reciting the weather. Like it's just a fact, and I'm supposed to nod along and thank her for clearing up my day. By now, another guy's gotten out of the SUV, a man with a clipboard polo shirt, HOA logo stitched on his chest. He doesn't even look at me like a neighbor, more like he's double checking a file. "Formal notice," he says, handing me a stiff sheet of paper. I hold it. It's printed on letterhead, has my name, my address, a barcode. "The association has determined your use of the access drive is unauthorized." He reads out like I can't see it for myself. I look up at Elaine and the cones and the sign and my own truck idling out at the curb. The coffee in my mouth tastes sour. "This is the only way in," I say louder than I mean to. She doesn't flinch. "Then you should have thought about that before." Before what? Before buying a house? Before existing? Meanwhile, my neighbors are all watching, tucked behind curtains, standing by the mailbox, acting like this is totally normal Tuesday entertainment. So here I am, apparently unauthorized to use my own driveway, being told to park down the street. "I'm not 25 anymore," I tell her. "I've got groceries tools." "I can't." "You can." She cuts in. "You just don't want to." The clipboard guy taps the notice tap tap like punctuation. "You can't use this driveway anymore." I'm standing there holding a piece of paper that feels like a diagnosis nobody wants. I ask who decided this. Elaine smiles, thin and humorless. "The board." I stare at the bottom of the notice. There's a word circled so hard the pen almost went through temporary enforcement. "Temporary based on what I ask." She shrugs. "Based on authority." If they can slap cones on my driveway, what else can they take? That's all I can think. The emergency meeting that night is in the community center, a room that's just folding chairs, a plastic table, and a bulletin board covered in lost dog flyers and pool rules. The air smells like burnt coffee and warm printer toner. Elaine is at the front, two board members on either side, and a mic that squeals when someone touches it. "This is about safety, liability, and preserving community standards," Elaine says. Her eyes sweep the room, land right on me. "The driveway belongs to the HOA. We control that access." I stand. "That's not true." Elaine raises a hand, palm out. "We'll follow procedure." Carter, the board guy, who always looks worried. He left a stove on, read section 4.12, common areas, and association authority. "That's not association property," I cut in. "We will not be interrupted," Elaine says, Mike, screeching. "You can submit your concerns in writing." A guy near the back mutters to his wife, "That road existed before this. HOA." She shushes him, quick eyes darting like she's afraid of being fined just for hearing it. I raise my hand, actual classroom style, trying to show I'm not the problem. "Show me the paperwork." "Show me where it says you own my driveway." Elaine's eyes go cold. "We have documentation." "Then show it." She flips the mic off. Suddenly I'm talking, and no one hears me. just the buzz of the overhead lights. And a lot of people looking anywhere but at me. Elaine says into the mic, "We won't tolerate hostile behavior. The board is acting in the community's best interest." Hostile, I say, but without the mic, it's like shouting into a pillow. The board votes. Some hands go up like they're asking permission to exist. I vote no, alone. Motion carries, Carter says. So now the driveway is officially under HOA control. Compliance expected. Nobody says a word for me. Nobody offers help. They just leave whispering, acting like orange cones are a new natural phenomenon. That night, I drive to the county records office, my notice folded tight in my hand. The place smells like paper and disinfectant. The clerk behind the counter doesn't even blink. "Has anyone shown you an easement?" she asks. "No," I say. "They keep saying that Show A owns my driveway." She types fast, 2 fingers, eyes sharp. "Let's start with the plat." She prints it out, points at a line running from the street up to my house. "That's your access drive." "My driveway," I say. She nods. "Private access. If it were common property, it'd be marked different." I ask about an easement. "If there's an easement, it's recorded," she says. It's not vibes. "No easement to the HOA. Not in my chain, not in theirs. If it's not recorded, they don't own it," she says. That paper simple black and white feels heavier than anything Elaine ever handed me. Next meeting, there's a county mediator. Suit badge on his belt. The air is different, nervous, electric. Elaine starts her routine, but this time I stand up, hand the mediator my plat map. He studies it. "Do you have an easement recorded for this driveway?" he asks Elaine. She shuffles papers. Our documents show HOA control. That wasn't my question. "Do you have a recorded easement?" Carter and Shannon, her board backup, won't meet his eyes. "We don't have the easement with us," Elaine says. The mediator, calm as stone. "There is no recorded easement attached to this parcel." Elaine. "That can't be right." He looks right at her. "If it were recorded, it would be here." Elaine turns to me, "But we control it." The mediator control requires ownership or legal authority. He looks around the room. This driveway is marked private access on the recorded plat. Blocking it prevents the homeowner from accessing his residence. Elaine tries one last time. He can park elsewhere. I say, "There is nowhere else." "You know that." The mediator nods. Loss of sole access raises habitability concerns. The homeowner has a right to enter his home. Elaine asks for a closed session, but the damage is done. For the first time, she looks rattled, just a crack, but it's there. Later, the county's ruling drops in my inbox. The subject line is cold official. Ruling posted, access control dispute. It spells it out. No recorded easement, no ownership interest. The driveway is private access. That's it. Game over. By now, neighbors are talking. Some embarrassed, some relieved. The story gets out. The county holds a hearing public on record camera, blinking red. Elaine tries to argue internal documentation. The county official cuts her off. Internal documentation does not override public record. Simple as that. They ruled remove the obstruction. Elaine says they'll appeal, but even her attorney isn't buying it. "We're not disputing access right now," he says to the reporter. "We're clarifying scope." Reporter. "So you're admitting the HOA doesn't own the driveway, attorney? There is no recorded ownership or easement." Standing on the courthouse steps, after I finally feel the pressure lift. For weeks, I'd lived with the fear that maybe, just maybe, the truth didn't matter. Turns out it does. Not because I yelled, not because I had more friends, but because proof weighs more than confidence. The next morning, my driveway looks like a driveway again. No cones, no signs, no threats. Just gravel and morning light. Mrs. Keene across the street, always in her robe, calls over, "Records don't bully." I almost laugh. Almost. I walk to the mailbox, past the community board. There's a new notice. Policy update. No access controls on private driveways without recorded authority. Legalese for "we lost." Let's act like it was our idea. A neighbor with his mail shakes his head. Took them long enough. We stand there reading a small cluster forming. People start to ask questions. Does this apply to everyone? The answer is it applies if you make it apply. That's the shift. People start looking at each other, realizing maybe it doesn't have to be this way. The clerk from the county walks up, hands me a certified copy of the plat. In case you want it, she says. I thank her. Sometimes people forget what public records are for. Neighbors murmur, remembering grievances. They're talking about checking their own fences, parking spaces, lines that got blurred. The clerk just says, it comes from what's filed. I go back to my truck, slide the proof into my jacket. Feels light now, not heavy, like it's finally doing its job. I drive up my own driveway slow, taking it all in. And when I park and step out, the silence isn't fear. It's peace. I stand there, the posted county order catching the sun, the gravel quiet. What stopped the bullying wasn't shouting, wasn't muscle. It was a record, public, undeniable, out in the open for everyone to see. That moment the cones came down, things changed. Not loud, but real. Finally, someone fought back. So let me ask you, where's the line between authority and bullying? Is it confidence or is it proof? Ever been steamrolled by rules nobody can show you on paper? Share your story if you've got one, because the only thing that really keeps the powerful in check is all of us watching together.